Let's find out what is the alien driving the ships.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The bird-eyed deity that they showed in Fire in the Sky with D.B. Sweeney, Fire in the Sky, when it was in the ship, they looked in the closet and they had these suits hanging in the closet with the big bald head alien with the bird eyes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, you must understand that that design of aliens that they always show now and trying to front since Roswell, but they've been trying to show now, came from a drawing that appeared in 1919 in the Greenwich Village by Aleister Crowley called Lamb. Lamb is an extraterrestrial intelligence in which Crowley was in an astral contact with. He did the word astral again, okay? In 1919. The drawing by Crowley appeared in an exhibition held in Greenwich Village, New York City, the same year. Because Aleister Crowley was from Britain, but I think he stayed a year in New York or 2 years in New York. I think it might have been a year. But he went to Greenwich Village, and he at an art exhibition, he gave in 1919 the first version of the aliens that the government been using, and they've been using on movies for years. It's the same one. He gave a drawing, but his he got from an astral vision of a god called Lamb, an extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, this is the key on this. This is the key. They took that drawing and they made the eyes bigger because the other one has regular eyes. They took that drawing and they made it into the big-eyed version, and they've been using that same version of an alien for years and trying to make it a physical. He got it from an astral vision. Now, if you really study the drawing of Lamb, he has a certain shape of a head. Now, they tell you that the pineal gland is in the shape of a grain of corn. That is why Osiris is a corn deity. Is a corn deity. It's in the shape of a grain of corn. When you look at Lamb's head in this picture from 1919, his head is in the shape of a grain of corn. The extraterrestrial known as Lamb are the extraterrestrials out here that they have been copying it and modified, but the original one was from Crowley. Those extraterrestrials are none other than the pineal gland. That is the alien. So when they said they are afraid of aliens coming, they are afraid of activated pineal glands.
Right, right.
Lamb has the shape of an egg or the shape of a grain of corn, which is the pineal gland. Your aliens are nothing but the activated pineal gland, which is the eye of Heru, which the eye of Heru is seen riding on a ship in Egypt. The winged disc of Heru Bahutit, a ship, a disc. You see. So this is what this is going on. What this is going on. So now, going back to my infomercial, we have the picture packet is taking on a mind of its own. You got to get this. Because what people are doing now, they're getting it. Now remember now, these things, some of these pictures I've been pouring libations to since I invoked them back in the 90s. And so what's happening here is they're setting up multiple dimensions. Get the picture packet. The stimulus package, now people are using it and giving it to their family members because things is hard. If you got to get rich quick, tell you how to do things with household products, fine, it's great. There's another one called 5 Steps to Psychic Self-Defense. Same guy. Also, we got the two Palo music from the priest from the Caribbean that moved to Europe. I think he's in. He moved to Europe. We have 2 of the Apollo CDs. We still got the Love CD. We got a lot of things, but call the contact number and inquire on how to get your thing today. 678-358-1055. 678-358-1055. So whenever you want to go to the question and answer.
All right, everyone. We're live. Yes, Brother Bobby. Lots of powerful information being dropped here. We're going to go to the phone lines. Now, listen, there are many of you on the phone lines. I don't even want to get into the number, but I am going to ask this. If you're able, after you ask your question, to go into the chat room and release the line so that others can ask a question, please do so. The call-in number is 646-652-2711, and press 1 once you're on the phone line. This is going to let me know that you have a question for Brother Bobby. Make sure you turn down your phone, your computer speakers. If you're on the phone, don't have the speakers on, or else we're going to get a feedback. So we're going to go to the callers on the phone line that have a question here live in the chat room. The first caller we're going to go to is calling in from area code 407. You're live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Hello?
407? Yes, you're live in the remix. You have a question for Brother Bobby?
Yes. I wanted to question him about I was reading in the Nag Hammadi where they were saying that the divine energies had left Africa and are going to no longer be on the planet anymore. I wanted to get your take on that.
The divine energies left Africa. Well, there's 2 versions of that. They say, out of Egypt I will call my son. It's the same scenario, the older version of that. The Nag Hammadi, was found in Egypt. There's nothing but later day metaneta made into Coptic and various forms of Greek and what was existed in the later period. It's one of the stories is the coming of us out of Africa to the west, which we were destined to come because we have the papyruses saying that would happen. Saying that would happen. And that reason here is the ancient gods had to take on new forms. They had to transmutate. So you have one thing for one cycle, and that cycle can last a couple of million years. But in the universe, everything changes supreme. So based on change, we had to become a new entity. And in order to become a new entity, what we had to do was we had to absorb all of the later races on Earth into the DNA to make us superhuman, including white people, to be absorbed. And that happened through the bloodline of the Middle Passage, you see what I'm saying, and what happened in the Caribbean islands on into the Americas. So that's one aspect of that, if you're talking, It just depends on what text you read and what period of time or what have you. But that is one of the explanations.
I had read the Asclepius version of in the Nag Hammadi.
Okay, the Asclepius version is that's one of the oldest versions of it because that's the Hermetic text. And they talk, but in that same Asclepius version, they talk about us coming to America. Talk about us will be in a strange land, and our bodies would be Egyptian or African, but our mind would be of another race. So obviously it has to be connected to that, because the Asclepius is the god Imhotep. When you take the Hippocratic oath, you got to pray to the god Asclepius. That's just the Greek name of Imhotep, and Imhotep is talking to Tahuti. But that same version was found in the Nag Hammadi Library, which makes the Nag Hammadi Library a later-day version of the Hermetic text, which was translated, which was also translated into Greek and Latin for the Romans and